All right, this is jpeg2RAW, show number 179 on June 12th, 2016. July 12th, 2016. It's been like always, it's a rough summer for me. You know, I'm behind if you're waiting for the show. YouTube comes out really quick. Really quick by my standards. And then some of the others follow suit. The last one is the one where I got to do the blog post. And Tim, you've missed 2 of the last 3 or 4 shows, which means I struggle with show notes. I have the idea, hey, you know what? I'll just re-listen and do show notes myself since Tim wasn't there. And then after a little while, I give up on that idea and just say, forget it. I'm not going to do show notes. No one reads them anyway.
Well, don't say that. Why am I here?
Well, I think some people do, but hardly anybody reads them. So I just say, forget it. I got to get the show out and post it. So I am behind, but my summers are always like this. It's the end of our year and my day job. So we are busy in the end of the year, my main portion of my pay job. And then the other portion, which is the IT section, we have 2 massive projects coming on. I can't say anything yet about them until they're officially out there. But we have 2 big projects that are happening for us that keep me very busy. I will get caught up, so be patient. And, you know, best way, of course, is to subscribe, Tim. And that's the best way to stay up on what we have. And if you want to know where to subscribe, I usually save this for the end, but I'm going to do it up front since I'm already there. Video is iTunes, YouTube, and Vimeo is where you can get video. And then audio, you can do it through Stitcher, Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Podomatic, Podbean, and Google Play Music. And let me show you something else here if I can get this pulled up. You can, if you go to our webpage, let's say I just pressed something I shouldn't have pressed. Let's say you go to our webpage, and I don't remember what Mike just said. There was a whole lot of words that Mike just said, and I don't remember all of it. So if you go to the webpage, and then you go over to subscribe, there's all kind of buttons here that'll link you to those things on how to subscribe. So that's jpeg2raw.com/subscribe. But then what I was going to show you is what I've been showing the last few weeks, and we are getting more and more people who are doing this, Tim, which is good because I don't want to have to pay for this for nothing. That is the YouTube, not the YouTube, the app, the Google Play app and the iTunes app. And on here you have the audio feed, you have the video feed, which is through YouTube. And you also have the thing that's what's in your camera bag, that feed that we're doing. And then a new thing, we're doing our second one tomorrow night with AD, which is the photo review. And all that is right there in the app. To get the app, the easiest way, you can go to our website, which I'll bring that back up. Go to the website, go to home. Oh, I can't press it from there. I got to press it from here. Go to home. And then Google Play link is right there. Apple iTunes Store link is right there. You'll click on the Google Play one, and then you have the Google Play, app there. Just go through the normal install process. And also over on the iTunes, it's right there. It's real easy. And another way to subscribe. And it's free for you. Have you downloaded the app yet, Tim?
Yes, I did.
Good. So you're one of the numbers that's out there.
Both the Android and the Apple iTunes.
And AD is out in chat, and he said Lisa's photo on the front page. Yes, she was the last show I published. She is the last show. She was last week, week before last. So she's the last one on YouTube. She's out there on YouTube, so she shows up first on here. I do think it streams. I don't think it downloads, so make sure you're conscious of what kind of bandwidth you're using. All right. All right, Tim?
I am perfect. I was actually in the forums. Imagine that.
Well, I do have something that's going to lead us to the forums in just a second.
Okay.
And now that you mentioned, let me go ahead and talk about that. So have you heard about we've all had corrupt cards before, right? At some point, or of someone who has.
Yeah, knock on wood, I have not had that happen to me yet.
Okay. So in one of the other groups I'm in, it's a local group of Georgia photographers. One of the guys in there had a corrupt card. So he went through and did the thing that we all try when you have a corrupt card. And I think I've only had it happen once or twice to me, where I've had a card and it was a long time ago in the early days of photography, from my photography, where I had a corrupt card. And he got the programs, he tried that, none of them worked.
Mm-hmm.
And so he is now having to send it off to someone. And I think the quote was between $500 and $2,500.
Wow.
Yes, it's going to turn out to be $1,200 for him.
My God.
And so the way it happened though is something that's fairly. It's the first time I've ever heard this happening. I have often preached about make sure you format the card in the camera you're using.
Correct.
So let's say you have a Nikon D300 or D2X, like me. Let's just say me, Nikon D2X and Nikon D700. If I format the card in a D2X, but then put it in a D700, I need to reformat it before I shoot.
Right.
I've been somewhat religious about that, but I've never actually heard of a person having a problem with that scenario.
But it makes sense that that's where it could happen.
And I can see it happening if I'm giving you my card and you put it in your Sony and you have problems with it.
Right, different operating system altogether.
Right, Nikon to Sony, that kind of makes sense. But I've never even heard of that happening before. It's all just this, what do they call it? A myth. However, it's not a myth. And in this situation, it's a documented situation where if you put a card, I'm gonna pull it up here in just a second. If you put a card in, it's coming from DP Review, a formatted card on a D4, but then use it in a D800, the card is now corrupt, and you can't use normal recovery software to recover the images. This is a specific case where you format in D4 and then shoot it in a D800. While you're shooting and you're looking at the images on your camera, everything looks just fine, but as soon as you go to download them, you can't get anything off of it.
Ouch.
Yeah. And I don't know exactly what he was shooting. He is a wedding photographer, so it could be that. But, he does other things, too, besides wedding photos.
I guess the question I'd have to ask is, why are you switching? I mean, cards are cheap enough now that I can't even imagine switching between two cameras.
Yeah, my understanding is that he uses both cameras, that one's one's backup, so he's out shooting, he has dual cameras. And rather than having two of the same kind, he has two different ones, maybe just because that is, how he purchased them.
Well, that's it's something good to know then.
Yeah, so
I don't have two bodies that I go out with anyway, so. He
is using a company called, what is it? DriveSavers Data Recovery.
Mm-hmm.
And they're charging about, right now, at least what he knows of $1,200 to recover those photos. So obviously these photos are incredibly important to him, which I'd imagine means it's a wedding.
Yeah.
I asked him last night. He still has not gotten the stuff back, so he doesn't even know he's actually going to be able to recover it.
Right.
So just
$1,200 would be more than worth it if they were wedding pictures. That's nominal.
Yeah. Yeah. And AD says, I can tell you, if you do this on any Sony, it will rewrite the database, but all the photos are fine. So it will scare the crap out of you. Yeah. So I'm not sure how. Maybe it sounds like maybe the Sonys do the same thing that I know Windows does, is where there's like a record that's telling the disk where all the pieces are. So files are scattered all across sectors on the drive, and this directory tells it where everything is. And if you ever heard of FAT, file allocation table, and that tells it where it is. So it sounds like AD is saying it may rewrite that table, but the actual files are still there.
Well, what it sounds like to me is he's saying is Sony's better than Nikon.
In this situation, maybe it is. But you brought the forum, so this is that whole story to lead us up to this. In the forums, which if I could just get Tim to slow down in his posts, I can't keep up with all of them.
I know, they're blazing, and they're so fast that they don't even appear.
They're like in and out. In here, I have a section called tips and tips. I have a post called corrupt card issues. Actually, quite a few views there. And I've started listing out some different programs you can use to go and try and recover your photos. And I encourage anybody who has any other programs that they know of to let's add them here. And then I've added this one here, the data recovery drive saver group. So this is
actually, no, now that you say it, I think I did have an issue with the card, but I think it was a Lexar. I think it was one of my Lexar cards, compact flash, and I used their recovery tool, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether the card went bad or did I format it before I or I deleted the pictures maybe and I had to recover the pictures. But whatever I did, it was I think it was more human error than anything else.
Well, Photo Rescue is the software I've used before. When I think I've had this happen once or twice. Photo Rescue is the one I used by. I don't know who it's by, but that seems to be the one that we had somebody in our Facebook group who lost something too recently, and she was able to recover it from that. But if you can't, your only other option is something like that DriveSavers people.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So,
and if depending, I mean, if it's your childbirth pictures, wedding pictures, you'll spend a lot of money to get that back.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you can't do a reshoot if you're doing a wedding. No,
it's one-time option.
Yeah.
You know what? If I lost my pictures from down in the Outer Banks, yeah, you know what? I can go back there, get those sunrise pictures if I needed to. Probably none of those pictures would be irreplaceable. It would be missed memories, but it's not the once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next thing I had up, Tim. I don't know if you've seen the show notes, but one of our best shows, or well, not best shows, but one of our most viewed shows has been the one with Randy Henderson and real estate photography. And we've had Stephen Miller come on too to talk about real estate photography at one point. Did you see this post over on Fstoppers about this little camera? And I'll play it here. Okay, since this thing has music, I'm going to have to mute it because we don't have a license to play that music. But right now what they're showing is the app. On iPad, setting up the camera to display around, to take pictures around the room, and then it looks like she has some control dots on where the camera was placed that she's controlling with her app. And once she has it set up, she can then scan the room, and the camera will scan across the room, picking up all the images and creating a 3D image, I guess, is basically what she's doing. Of course, once she has it, looks like it's set up. Let's see, what is she doing here? She's setting up different rooms, saying what these different things are in the app. And now she's uploading it to the online process, where I guess that's where the compiling of the 3D image comes. And within a few hours, you then get the 3D image, and you get the walkthrough images where you can virtually walk through the place. And that's the Matterport. All right. So I'd love to hear Randy's take on that. I think it's fairly expensive. I don't think it's really cheap. So, but a real estate agent or a photographer may buy that and use it.
Oh, absolutely. That's. I mean, you look at that 3D model that it makes of it. That is amazing.
Yeah. 3D model. It also does the whole room. It has some issues with like mirrors and that kind of stuff. And obviously, you still got to do the room setup and that kind of thing. And I don't think it does I don't think it does outside yet. But real estate photography, after we had Randy on, was something I didn't realize how big it was and how important it was until I started looking at something.
Well, AD just talked about it. So, and he contacted him in regard to one of his abandoned building places.
Yeah. And
they're going to let him use it. So that would be amazing.
That would be. I think that, it's just another tool for somebody like Randy to use. May not completely replace his photography because, there's still things he can do that it can't. And, but it's just going to keep getting better. I don't know if the real estate agents will want to take their time to do it. But the other thing is, if it's costing more and it's more involved, this sounded like it was doing online processing, taking all that stuff and processing it online. I can't imagine they do that for free. That the real estate agent has to be willing to pay a little bit more for that versus just regular photos.
Right.
Because if you're...
Well, it depends on the type of house, the size of the house, and what your market is. If you're selling a $200,000 house versus a $2 million house, that may be a different factor in this, I would think.
True. You don't necessarily do that for a $200,000 house. The camera's $4,500. The software processing.
Actually, that's not that bad.
Well, the software processing $99 a month is not that for up to 200 hosted models. Yeah, and $4,500 one-time camera price. I don't know. Next time we have Randy on or some other real estate agent, we need to talk about that, because if you're getting the same amount of money for those images versus the images you were already taking with your camera, then it only becomes a defensive move. Or an offensive move, I guess. If nobody else is doing it, you're not getting any more money for it. The only reason to do it then is to lock in your photographer so they don't even look anywhere else. Lock in your real estate agents. I'm sorry, your clients. Yes. So they don't look anywhere else. But that's a hard decision to make if you're struggling and you don't really have any competitors doing it.
Right. That's always something different out there. I saw when you first started showing this, I just saw I don't know what I was looking last night up on the internet, and it was a camera that you mounted on a tripod and it would track you. So if you were, and I think the way they showed it was somebody was doing surfing and you had it pick out the person on the surfboard and then it would just track them the entire time, no matter what they did.
I think I get that ad on almost every other Google, every other YouTube video I watch.
All right,
yeah, I know what you're talking about. They're suited for the city, urban, and commercial real estate. Yeah, I could see that definitely for commercial real estate. Yeah, one other way to look at this is, I love photographers have more choices today to earn money. Maybe more competition too. So there's more competition, but more choices to earn money than they did years ago, where real estate photography is relatively new. And now you can add the drone to it. Stephen Miller does that, where he takes drone photos of some of the houses, and now you have this capability too.
And I just an FYI, I bought a drone last week.
What did you buy?
A DJI Phantom 3.
3?
Yeah, I got it on eBay, so I paid less than it was a lightly used model. So
okay.
So I actually went out and bought it.
You're totally taking me off there, because I thought we both sucked at flying drones.
Yeah,
and
we did.
$50 model was said, "Oh, there's no reason we'll ever get a drone." What? And I would say we, in that you make your own purchasing decisions, I make my own. It's not a team. It's not a team effort.
You doubled my salary.
That's true. So what made you decide to get the drone?
When we were down in the Outer Banks, my friend's son had one, and we were using it down there, and I just got hooked, and I started looking on eBay, and it was the, you know what, that would be nice. That's a good price. I can get it, and I bought it.
Well, very good. Very good. So, have you registered and all that?
Not yet. I haven't really flown it yet, but I'm going to register it because I don't want to be that idiot that gets caught.
Yeah. Wonder if you should get more insurance now. Did you see the guy who was flying he was at I think it was a race, a 5K race. He was flying and he had already been asked not to do it, but he was flying it, and there was an official company that was hired to take the shots flying, and they were up above, they were flying, they were taking their shots, and you can see all of a sudden this white streak just go boom, down like that, and it hit a lady right in the face.
Oh.
And she ended up having a concussion, according to the news or whatever. Yeah. Concussion, had to be taken to the doctor. Now that guy is going to either be in trouble with the police or later on with the courts when she gets sued.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would love to have one. I worry about where I would go with it.
Yeah, I haven't quite figured that part of it out yet.
Well, I look forward, Tim, to seeing some footage from it. What kind of camera does that come with?
I didn't get the professional, which would be the 4K. I got the high def version, so it's still shooting HD 12 megapixel camera. It's I think it's equivalent of a 24 millimeter lens. So really, when you're up 100 feet. You're not making out much detail. So I haven't uploaded anything that I took pictures with yet. I only got it last week and minimal flying this past Saturday up in Connecticut. So I will be using it soon.
Yeah, that's awesome. So 12 megapixel, 1080p, right? Mm-hmm. I think some of the rules are fairly simple. That you go and listen to. They're not above 400 feet,
Right, 400
within.
feet is where you're allowed to fly. I think you
Yeah.
can fly it over that, or at least I think it will fly over that. But 400 is the limit that you're supposed to go. I
Right.
think I had it up 220 feet. I was like, man, that's high. I'm like, really? Do I want to go 400 feet? And then I can't even see the darn thing up there.
Well, I think that the other thing is you have to have you have to always have line of sight.
You see, right. You're supposed to
You're
have line
supposed
of
to be able
sight.
to see it.
And I imagine some people don't do that because if you can get that far with it, you're not seeing the drone.
And then I think one of the other rules, there's not a whole lot of them that are hard to follow, but another one is if you fly it at night, you have to be able to see it, which means it has to, which I think the Phantoms do. You have to have lights on it where you could be able to see it.
Yeah, I actually the 4th of July, my neighbor across the street had one out. Actually, I thought it was somebody else's, and he had it way up there, and you could see there were 4 LED lights on it, and I'm thinking to myself, it's supposed to be 2 red and 2 green, or I think they're amber actually. And when it was red, I'm like, that means he's almost out of battery. And then it started fast blinking, and then it started coming down fast, and it landed. But I don't want to say it's uncrashable because people have crashed them, obviously.
Sure.
But it so far it seems relatively easy to use.
So should we expect some Tim drone photos in the forums? Or and if not in the forums, if on Facebook, should we see some?
Well, I want to get something from my Outer Banks on Facebook for the contest first. So
there you go.
I have to get something out there for that.
Yeah, I would like to see some of those things, but I'd also love to see some of your drone footage because
Yeah,
you're going to end up.
When I started taking it, it's not that because I'm still learning how to fly it, and you look, it's like, all right, where's the camera? Where's the recording? Paying attention to it. There's a lot to do with it.
Yeah, you're going to
make sure you don't crash it.
You're going to end up making me spend money.
I made you buy the other one.
You did, and now's not a good time. I just had to help my son buy his car, so whatever. Well, since you mentioned the contest, I do want to mention that AD Wheeler, who's out in chat right now, and I are doing number 2, the second round or second time. We're doing the photo review show. This is images that have been submitted into our photo challenge every month, photo contest every month, and you can enter that by going into our Facebook group. June is already over. June is the one we'll be going over tomorrow night, but the June photo contest is over. But you can go in and enter the July one. You can see it right here. It's always pinned to the top. The July contest, we've already got several images inputted in there. Most people put them in at the end of the month. But you can go in there, you enter you become a member of the group, you upload them there, and then we will review them at the end of the month or the beginning of the next month, announce the winner, and then the winner gets posted up here. We're going to announce the winner of last month here in just a minute, and then later tonight or tomorrow, I will replace this image with that one. If you don't want to go, if you're not a member of a Facebook group and you don't want to become a member, which I don't know why you wouldn't want to become a member, but you just don't want to do it that way, you can enter through our website. You go to the website, you go up in the upper left-hand corner to photo contest, and then photo contest entry. Hopefully this works. There we go. Yeah. And then you just fill out a few simple things. Added this because of AD helping us last month with, hey, we
Tell
need
us
to know
about your image.
Yeah, we
Right.
need to know a little bit about your image. So enter a little bit about your image, agree to allow us to actually show it, and then upload your image, and then you will be entered into the contest. So you can do it that way too. The easiest way, of course, is just through our Facebook group. But tomorrow night, I need to double check. I'll do a post on this later, whether it's 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. that we're doing this. And AD will go through each image like we did last month and give some feedback, some very valuable feedback. I know of at least one guy who went back and re-edited his photo. Two people went back and re-edited their photo based on AD's feedback. And several who this round submitted photos with the feedback that he was giving other people. So it's already paying off and helping people out. And that's the intention there. That's the intention with that feedback, better than what you're going to hear Tim and I give tonight, that you'll help in the learning process, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm going to show just the 3 finalists tonight, so we can see those, and then you'll get to see all of them tomorrow night with AD. And tonight we're doing something where we're only streaming to YouTube and then embedded on our site. And then tomorrow night, we're only going to stream to Facebook, assuming everything works.
Assuming. And I might actually be on the Facebook one watching.
There you go. All right. The first one up here is from Gina Perry. And it's a cat photo. And it's just incredible detail. I love the clarity of it, the rule of thirds she's following here. I love I'm drawn straight to the eye. I know some people have said, I don't know where to go in this image, but to me, I go straight to the eyes. They just pop out to me.
I agree. I think that's exactly what I'm looking at. And you're looking at the cat's right eye, and because that's the clearer eye of the two, and it's really the depth of field. And you got all that hair on the top that's really in focus. You got the whiskers in the bottom left that are in focus, but the eye is what drew me in.
I'm really interested tomorrow night to hear from AD what he thinks on this one, and it is a tight crop where you can't see the full head. I like that. I think she cut it off good. I'm interested to see that. I guess you see the rest of the cat's body going off to our right.
To the right.
But
Correct.
to me, it's so darkened and so so faded into the background. To me, it doesn't distract me. Now, if I spend a lot of time with this image, I do start to be drawn to that a little bit. But I'm mainly, when I open this image up, it is pop right on those eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're getting this all wrong, AD, don't laugh out loud. Where
I was thinking that. I was like, yeah, he's laughing at us right now.
Yeah, just keep it to yourself. You can tell me I'm wrong tomorrow night. All right. Next up is from Michael, and I know Michael was one of the ones who re-edited one of his shots from last month. This is a new one of a waterfall, and again, I want to hear AD's tomorrow night what he thinks of the cropping. But it's a slow motion waterfall where you got the silky water coming off. I love the tones in this image, and the color that he has in this image too.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with it, and I like the slow shutter speed where you get the movement of the water, and it takes out the rough water in the foreground. Kind of, It's not obviously glass looking because it shows that there was movement, but I like that effect. And it's probably about I don't know, say 1 second exposure. Do you know what it was? I don't remember offhand.
I don't know what it was, but I do like it, and especially in the summertime right now, where it's just crazy hot. To me, this looks like a nice place to go to cool off. The little pond that's there, it just looks like cool water that in the shade that's there. It looks like a great summertime spot to just go and sit and cool off. All right, so next up is from Bruce Lee. Not the Bruce Lee, but a Bruce Lee.
I hope not the Bruce Lee.
A Bruce Lee. And this is a sunset at a beach. I'm not sure where it was. Sunset at a beach and with some rock formations in the foreground. And
Haystack Rock at sunset.
You mentioned something with one of my photos that was a shot, an infrared shot. And you mentioned that you normally don't put the horizon in the middle on one of these. So can you expand on that and tell me?
Well, see, and I think this one is, in a way, it's a little different. Yeah, it's slightly off center. It's not dead center, which is usually not pleasing. But where this one gets you, it's got that double reflection. So in my mind, this is not so detrimental to having the horizon dead center or slightly dead center of the picture. I mean, that's my viewpoint. I was not so upset by this one having the horizon in the middle.
Yeah. And one of the things,
I think if you cut it the other way, if you cut it to putting the horizon down to the bottom, now you're losing the reflection. Yeah, you might get some sky, but you lose the whole symmetry of the picture. If you move it further up, you're missing the colors from the sky. So, or then you have too much darkness on the bottom, because I think at the point right in the front of the image, it's probably very dark, because I don't know if you have any more water there, or if that's going to sand where he's taking this picture from. So I didn't have a problem with that in this picture at all.
And I believe, if I'm getting this right, because I'm a slow learner and I need AD to go over this multiple times with me. One of the things he's given us advice on is having things in threes, right? Having three of something. So you do have three things of rock formations here. So I'm interested to hear tomorrow if he thinks that this would have been more powerful. And you can't physically move these rocks, and I don't know if you can get an
No, you can't.
I don't know if you can get an angle for it either. So you'd have to edit them out in post. Whether it actually would have been better with just the one big rock.
Right. Maybe
That would be interesting. You would have obviously had to edit them out and post, and then it's not the actual scene. There you go, Tim.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how that would look. I mean, and maybe then at that point, it almost looks like you have to do a vertical picture versus
do
a.
that again. So you're lining that up to.
Yeah, and it almost looked like it had to be a vertical picture then when I was doing it that way.
Yeah. All right, so those are the 3 finalists, and we narrow down all the entries to 3 finalists, and then those 3 are voted on in different categories, and we come up with a winner out of those 3. So I don't have a drum roll sound effect or whatever with me, but did you said that your family helped you choose one?
Now I'm not sure which one I picked now, but I'm pretty sure I know which one it was. I'm pretty sure I picked the sunset picture.
This one by Bruce Lee.
Right.
That is the winner, actually. That was the one who.
So I was picking the waterfall.
Yeah. No, that was the one that won. So Bruce Lee is the winner. Bruce Lee is the winner of the June photo contest. I'll be putting it up here shortly. Congratulate everybody who entered, including Gina and Michael, who are the finalists, and a number of other people. I think that I don't have the guy's name anymore, do I? Anyway, we had a number of entries from there. The ones I love to see entering are some of the new people. So if you want to enter, the best way is, of course, going to our going to jpeg2RAW Facebook group, going there and entering over there. Let me see if I can find his name. Tom Sadlin. He entered again this month. Second month entering. He's a new guy that is in the group, and glad to see him continue to enter those contests. Kitty Cat wins. No, Kitty Cat didn't win. It was close. All 3 are close. They didn't win.
Yeah,
right.
no, they're all winning pictures. I mean, they're all good pictures as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, I want to hear what AD says tomorrow. So
I'm going to pull this up so I can talk with some, talk about what I'm talking about, whatever. When we go to do this the voting on the final 3, there is a format that we follow.
Mm-hmm.
And that format is basically broken down into several different categories. You rate them 1 to 10 into each category. So 1 is technical, 1 is creative, 1 is impact or emotion, another is composition, and then overall. And you know what's funny, Tim, is when I look at them, I may say I like this one the best.
Right.
And it may even get my overall rating the best. But the other categories is where I may actually end up with one that wins for my voting that I didn't expect. Have you had that happen where, I might look at the cat and say, this is my favorite. And I'm not saying it was.
Right, but when you go through all the other, when you got the 5 points that you're going through, it changes it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know it happens to other people too. All right. I'm going to show you something else, and I'm not going to play the whole video because it's too long, and I need to figure out how to not have this do sound. Let's see if I can do that. Audio source silence. All right. Let me get this pulled up. Have you seen this, Tim? It is a guy who has, for 16 years, taken a daily photo of himself. And I don't think he's done. I think he's continuing to take photos, and so it's an ongoing project. When you watch this, I want you to pay attention to, remember, this is a photo every single day for 16 years.
Right. Wow.
How lined up his eyes are.
Yeah. And expression and everything.
Is there a chat going on YouTube? I don't know if there's, AD says there's chat going on YouTube.
His hair got long. Oop, short.
Yeah, so I mean, looking at this, he's the lighting is even somewhat the same. The lighting is not dramatically different. Now, I don't know how much post processing he did, but post processing on this many images would be crazy.
Man, his hair definitely changes a lot. Long to completely shaved off. Shaved off. But yeah, I mean, how did he get the alignment so perfect?
I don't know.
But he doesn't really look like he's aged a lot in 16 years either.
If you're so, I will mention somebody AD said something about chat over on YouTube. I'm not going to be able to go over there.
Oh my God, he went full long hair to short hair.
If you're on YouTube and watching this, we are, the best place to come and watch it in chat is over on jpeg2RAW.com/live. AD, thank you for holding down the chat over there. I don't have that pulled up, so I'm not going to be able to see it. Anyway, my point with showing this video of this guy is the commitment it takes to do. I'm going to go ahead and stop it. The commitment it takes to do this 16 years every single day.
Imagine that.
And not just the fact that he takes the photo, but how good everything's lined up and the consistency between that. It made me think how, I really need to take on a personal project. Not of this magnitude. This is crazy. This person's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm going to take on some kind of personal project myself. Have you ever taken on any kind of personal project, Tim?
No, the funny thing is, I remember when my son was first born, and which is now 14 years ago, and back then it was film. The guy told me, take a picture of your kid every day.
Yep.
And I think I did it at the beginning, and then I stopped. And you wish you would. Then my daughter was born 10 years later and said I should do the same thing. Yeah, I didn't do it either. So yeah, there's a lot of discipline to that, and especially, I mean, he must have got up every morning or whatever time, went to that. He had to have a specific setup location in his house.
Yep.
Probably had the camera mounted on a tripod. It's probably, well, I wonder if it's the same camera. 16 years.
I doubt it's the same camera.
It can't be, because 16 years. Well, I guess they had digital cameras already 16 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but that's a hell of a project.
It is. And projects are, not like this one. So that's just my intro into projects, and how this one is. I commend the guy for being this consistent and this good over 16 years. I don't know if you've missed days here or there, but I couldn't tell from that. But he at least did a lot. And you wish you would have done it with kids, because then you would see a dramatic impact. Okay, I'm not going to play it on air. Thank you, AD, for giving us the warning. AD put out in chat a link that we should not play on air. I'll look at it later. But for me, I need some kind of project, because this podcast has sucked away all my time to do photo work, and I think a project that is for me, that's just for me personally, not for a business, not for any end goal other than to get me out there, would be a good thing to get me started. Well, I often find excuses on not being able to go out there. One of them is the heat that we have right now.
Right.
And I don't know
if I have 102 degrees, I probably wouldn't be out there taking pictures hot.
And so, maybe to combat that, because if you're a working pro, I know a number of people who do a lot of photos. I'm outdoor photos, who are doing not doing weddings, but let's say engagement sessions, all those kind of things. You still have to do them, and they typically would rather have the sunset photos, that time frame, because it's easier to get to. You don't have to worry about people oversleeping and that kind of stuff.
Right.
But at this time of the year, that means you're going to be, at least in this part of the world, 90 plus degrees, if not even hotter.
Mm-hmm.
So you may have to change your timing, and instead of doing a sunset, you do a sunrise.
Right.
That those early morning things where maybe it's in the mid 70s to where you're ended up in the 80, 85 range, and not quite as hot with that, and still getting decent light. And so, that's what I think I'm going to have to do. Thoughts?
I don't know.
Well, what if you still have young kids, so that's helping you?
Yeah, my pictures a lot of my pictures are still my son with his soccer.
Yeah.
And this past year, I even got really, really bad taking those pictures with him because I'm also coaching at the same time. So that's made it very difficult on the sideline to try and take pictures. The good thing is he just joined another soccer team, so now he'll be on definitely 2 teams and possibly a 3rd team when he gets on, if he makes the high school team in the fall. So last year when he was on the middle school team, I took a lot of pictures. This year with the his one new team, I am going to be on the parent side of the field, so I'll be able to take pictures. My one thing I always realize at the end of the year, I put together a calendar for my my mother-in-law, my father, and us of the pictures of our kids throughout the year. And one thing I invariably noticed, I didn't have a lot of pictures of the 2 of my kids together. Because a lot of times they don't want to smile when they're together. They love each other until I put a camera in front of them. So I have a lot of great pictures of them separate, but not so many. And I'll have the typical Christmas picture that I take, but that's it. So it's been very difficult to do that. And I just have not taken a lot of pictures recently, other than this vacation where I just came back and took probably close to 2,000 pictures. Man, I don't walk outside my house with the camera as much as I used to, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's just either this or my kids aren't in sports anymore, so a project. And I got to think of what is that project going to be? I have been taking more photos with my phone, but, whatever, that's the phone.
No, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah, no, me either. Well, although I enjoy taking it with the phone, too. All right, so last thing I have up before we go the wrap up here is something that really just for the Windows people out there, for the Microsoft Windows people out there. This is I know there's a lot of Apple people out there, so this won't be for you. But if you haven't upgraded to Windows 10 yet, the free upgrade ends July 29th. So just 17 days from now, and from all I'm hearing, it is a hard deadline that there won't be an extension.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing also.
July 29th. I don't know what the price is going to be after that. If you have not upgraded at this point and you're on Windows 7 or Windows 8 or 8.1 or whatever it is, strongly consider going up to Windows 10. At first with Windows 10, there was some problem that was caused with some video production software like I have that caused a very high CPU usage. That has been solved, at least for my usage. And now every machine I have is Windows 10. Every machine doing this show right now, and there's 4 of them involved, is Windows 10. I have not run into an issue yet with Windows 10. I haven't run into an issue.
I would absolutely agree. It is very stable on every computer I run it on. I'm very pleased with it compared to Windows 8. Now, I had to upgrade it to Windows 8. I don't think you had, or very few of your computers were Windows 8, right? You had went from 7 to 8 to 10.
Yeah, I did.
So I had went to 8, and 8 was, I didn't like. 8.1 was a little better. 10 is, I feel like I'm using a regular Windows machine. But there are prices out there, Mike. It is $120 or $119 for the home version and $199 for the pro version after July 29th. And there's also going to be a massive update, I understand, on August 2nd. They're going to be, Windows is releasing their first update to Windows 10.
Yeah. So, if you're asking, well, why do I need to upgrade to Windows 10? What's the purpose of that? What am I going to get out of it that Windows 7 or Windows 8 or whatever is not giving me? To be honest, Windows 7 was fine for me, as there wasn't a compelling reason for me to leave Windows 7 other than I knew eventually this free upgrade would be over, so there's a monetary consideration. They also that eventually Windows 7 is going to be unsupported,
right? And
so with Windows 8 and Windows 10 is where it's going to be. They've a lot of the things we hated about Windows 8 is gone. And Windows 10 doesn't have that, and So there really wasn't any reason left not to upgrade. I've done 4 computers here: my wife's computer, my son's computer, my son's laptop, work laptop. That's it. Yeah, I think just that. Not a single upgrade problem with any of them. Now, it doesn't mean you won't have a problem.
Right.
It doesn't mean that something else won't go wrong. But all those upgrades for me, and not a one of them had an upgrade problem.
Yeah, I think I have 4 computers here running Windows 10, and I have upgraded several of my friends' computers to it, and I have not had one issue, not one. And of course, you're going to hear from the people that have issues. That just like anything else, people don't talk positive when everything's working correctly. When something doesn't work, that's when you hear somebody complain about it.
Right. So just remember, those are the people who you're hearing from are the ones who had problems, and there will be some, with all the different stuff.
Right. Absolutely.
That goes on. So that
Microsoft says this is the last version of Windows.
I don't know I don't know how you can ever say this is the last of anything.
And they're just going to keep upgrading. So there won't be a new version. They'll just make updates to it, I guess. And you really think of it, where do most people get Windows on the computer? When they buy a new computer. So their individual sales are probably not that big.
Yeah.
I really don't think.
I got to imagine eventually what's going to happen is like what Adobe did, that they'll go subscription based.
Yep.
And then we'll be, subscribing to our operating system.
God, I hope not.
Yeah, I know. That's where all these software people are going, though.
It is.
It's even worse on the enterprise side, which I won't go into. AD has something out there in chat I'd love to talk about, but I don't know if he will let me, if that's private or I can talk about it. And if it's not private, I don't know how to show it. I don't know if there's a link to it somewhere. Anyway, he's got a trip coming up, and again, if you let me show you. Let me show this. Let me show AD's website. This is the exploreographer.com, and we can go over here and we give away tomorrow night. We'll give away something in his Photo Tools store. Last time we gave away something to Michael, and so tomorrow night not necessarily the winner, but someone we choose at random of all the people who submitted to the photo contest will win something from AD's store. So we appreciate working with AD. Mm-hmm. And doing that. So AD has, and while you're there, move around his website, look at his portfolio. We've had AD on multiple times, and hey, this website the design looks familiar. But awesome photos here. Who is AD? He even has his gear there. He does a lot for the photo community. And he's doing it for us, too, with the show we're going to do tomorrow night where he's going to give critiques. Even if you didn't have a photo, even if your photo is not one of the ones that was submitted into the contest, just listening to his feedback is very valuable. Something that you would have to pay for normally. Right, Tim?
Absolutely.
It's almost like you're going to a college course for free.
Just got to listen.
And then use it.
And you think about all the people we've interviewed over the years, when they talked about how they learned. Not that many went to class, or I shouldn't say that, but I think the vast majority probably learned from watching on the internet, YouTube, or somewhere along those lines to learn how all the photography that we've learned over the years ourselves, different ways. And that is definitely the new way of doing it. And this is a free way of learning. You know what? You just got to give up an hour of your time.
Yeah. So AD is put out in chat I'm going to see if I can pull it up here, a little itinerary.
Oh, there you go.
Of this, and he's saying that this is his itinerary for the Aquifer trip, sunrise and sunsets. And one day I think they wake up at 3 a.m. and not back until midnight. Oof. The next night. Wow, that is a
I'm hurt thinking about it.
That is a long day of shooting. So he's in chat. I'm not sure how much he can share with us. Maybe he'll talk more about this tomorrow night. This is in August, so yeah, he won't be out doing this quite yet. He says there's a few more spots, right? I think you said.
Yes. I think he said he had 3 more days to add to this.
Three more days to add to it. Yeah. So, AD, if there's somebody's interested, how would they contact you or do what? If there's too much information, we can just talk about it tomorrow night. Tomorrow night being July 13th. And in case you're listening to this, a week from now, tomorrow night is July. We're talking about July 13th
of 2016.
Of 2016, and it will be live streamed on Facebook. We'll wait for that. Okay, I will do some wrap up here, and we appreciate you guys coming out. If you stayed this long, Jimmy and AD, if you stayed this long and listened to it, and if you listen to it afterwards, subscribe to the show. I mentioned all those things at the front end of the thing. You can also just subscribe on YouTube. Mm-hmm. We're closing in slowly on the 10,000 mark. Still a ways off, but we're over to 7,200, I think it is now. So it's gaining. But subscribe through there, and then you'll get the show whenever it comes out. It generally comes out on YouTube first. That's where I generally put it first, so you can get it there. The other thing, if you are going to buy anything from Amazon, I wish we'd have done this show yesterday, because today is what? Prime Day.
Amazon Prime.
Prime Day.
Did you look at it? I didn't see anything on there that said to me, I have to buy this.
I did not buy a single thing today.
Yeah.
It's a close event. Just you do. Okay. Nonstop for 8 days. So we'll talk about that tomorrow night, if you don't mind, AD. So if you are going to buy something from Amazon, even though Amazon Prime Day may be even over by now, I don't know. Probably by the time you listen to this, if you're not live, it will be.
Right.
But at any time, even if you're going to sign up for Prime, use our link, which is jpeg2RAW.com/Amazon. 100% of the funds from this goes toward us giving away prizes, us doing photo contests, prizes, those kind of things. And so the more it's used, the more stuff we can give away. We're not going to keep that. It doesn't go to pay for the app or anything like that. I do that out of my own money. But we love to have you go and do that. If you can't remember that link, which is easy, but if you somehow can't remember, what was that link again? jpeg2RAW. What? Or if you spell it jpeg2RAW. Some people spell it without the E, which, Tim, now we own jpeg2RAW.com. So somebody had, after we did our show, somebody had the domain name without the E. So as soon as they let it expire, I snatched it up. But for this case, you got.
So who would have registered? So did they register because of our show?
They may have thought of it on their own. I don't know how they read why. They only had one page up, and it's gone now. You'll never be able to see it again. But in this case, if you're doing the Amazon link, it's jpeg2RAW.com. Or you can just go to our website. You go to the website, and then right up here in the top where it says Amazon, you just click that, and it will take you right to Amazon. So you want to do that before. Look at that. There's Prime Day. You want to do that before you go to buy. Wow, look at all the graphics. Not a single thing here I'd want. But you do that before you go to buy anything.
I'm with you. I was looking through it this afternoon. I was like, yeah, there's nothing here I want.
I did rent a movie for 99 cents, which was usually $4.99. So I did rent that, but that's about it. And I did that over the weekend. I let you do that over the weekend. So the other thing that we mentioned was the forums. We showed you the corrupt card post. The other thing, if you go over to, let's see, go up to the top. Go over to, where's I going to go? Oh, I'll go here, come down to the bottom. Another place you can find all the episodes is right here. All the episodes that have been posted are right here, one after the other, and numbered in order. So you can see, each one of them if you want to go and find it that way, with a link to the show notes and a link to the YouTube video. Get you to everything. I intend to eventually do one that is by guest. So like you can go and look up AD and say, here's all the shows AD was on and what topic was covered. But we love
you might scare him and be like, my God, I was there too much.
Oh, he says how do you pronounce that? Rokinon?
Rokinon.
Rokinon. Lenses are being blown out. So if we love to have you in the forums, it's really, we need your post to become more active, for the forums to become more active. Tim, you're just not putting enough effort in there.
Enough?
At all.
Any.
And then, but if you do want to, our most,
just as much as I've posted, I'm never in Facebook.
that's true. And our most active place is Facebook, which is facebook.com/groups/jpeg2RAW. That we do have some other ones, a boudoir one, a sports one, but the most active one, of course, is our main one, just groups/jpeg2RAW. We'd love to have you come out there and post. Even if you're a beginner, we have a beginners one that is just for beginners. But if you're a beginner and you want to come out there and ask questions, in this group, there's a lot of knowledgeable people who can help you with anything from lighting setups to, computer problems, and just about anything that's out there. All right, Tim.
I hope those guys out there use the jpeg2RAW Amazon link, because Jimmy is purchased out there today. Oh, off Craigslist.
Oh, I picked off Craigslist. Yeah.
No help.
No help. On Amazon, $260 lens. Nice score. Yep. All right. Well, we that's all I had for tonight, Tim, is those few things. I am, now that I need to get back on looking for guests. I know I'm behind on that. It's just the summers are so difficult for me. And I hate to take the whole summer off, because then it's hard to get started back up again.
Yes.
So hang in there. We will have guests coming back soon. We'll have AD tomorrow night, but in a different show format. And we'll have other guests coming up soon. So until next week, keep it raw. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.